had a bad day, sweet tooth acting up, feeling for something decadent and sinful, I'm going to show you the most dangerous dessert I learned how to make while I was working in kitchens, deep fried ice cream. Now, I know what you're thinking. How does one deep fry ice cream? Well, you clicked on the video, didn't you? It's time to prep. What you're gonna need for this is a crumble, which is a mix of sugar, cinnamon, and a dry cereal. You're gonna need a tablespoon and a half of cinnamon, 4 tablespoons of sugar, about 2 cups of dry cereal, a cornflake, a Rice Krispie, Special K, something along those lines. Next, you're gonna put everything in a bowl and combine it. But when you're adding the cereal, make sure to start crushing it up into a fine crumble. That'll give you the proper consistency and crunch. Next, you're going to take some sort of tray and line it with some oil so that nothing sticks. Next, you're going to grab your ice cream. Scoop out a sizable amount, and then you're going to shape it with your hand. The heat from your hand is going to get it to melt ever so slightly. That is okay. That is what you're looking for. You want something roughly a little bit bigger than a golf ball. But if you want to go bigger, you can. Put those on the tray. Wash your hands. And then put that tray into your freezer for minimum an hour. Once that hour is up, you're gonna take the tray out, you're gonna prepare your crumble, you're gonna wet your hands ever so slightly, pick up the ice cream, get the outside just damp enough so that when you roll it around in the crumble, it starts adhering to the ice cream. Don't be afraid to squeeze some of the cereal mixture into the ice cream, that's perfectly fine, and when you need to, re-wet your hands. Once you have it decently covered, you're going to put it back in the tray, prepare whatever other ice cream balls you have, and you're going to stick the tray back in the freezer for another hour. You're going to do this a minimum of 2 times, and eventually you'll get a ice cream covered ball that is roughly the size of a baseball. And you're going to put it back in the freezer for 1 more hour. Now, when you are done preparing them, you're going to wrap them in saran wrap to keep them fresh so they don't get freezer burned. And that way, they can stay in your freezer for, to be perfectly honest, 3 weeks, because you're going to eat them before then. I went ahead and prepared one earlier. When it's frozen, it'll look like this. It's time to cook. Make sure you get your oil up to at least 400 degrees. You need this really, really, really hot. And then you're going to just put it in for 15 seconds. Yes, you heard me right. 15 seconds. That's it. That's all. Some of the crust will fall off. That's perfectly fine. Just make sure that it doesn't get to the ice cream. It's time to plate. You could put it in a bowl, but I've got fancy sundae glasses. You just grab it, put the ice cream inside, and then you're going to garnish it with a little bit of icing sugar. Or a lot. I have a sweet tooth. Don't judge me. Bonus! You're only cooking for about 20 seconds, so that oil is still very much usable, but you got to drain it out. So while it's still hot, set up a coffee filter inside some sort of strainer on top of a metal bowl. And then remember halfway through not to burn your countertop, put something that can take the heat underneath it. Pour it slowly until all of the oil is drained out. And then once the oil gets down to room temperature, you're going to store it in a jar. This stuff is still usable. Yes, it is a little bit darker, but if you use it for deep frying only, it'll be perfectly fine. And that way you don't waste any oil. Though, be warned, if anyone you know is allergic to cinnamon, this oil has been cross-contaminated.
You have one of these too now. Remember, ring the bell for notifications, subscribe for more. I will see you next time. Order up! Oh.